Yo, what's going on, guys? Winner Kills here, and welcome to a brand new locals feature match. Here we are in round 2 for the week. If you guys didn't catch the last feature match that I posted, I said that there are only going to be 3 rounds from this specific locals because the 4th and final round, which I believe was Dynamorphia versus Branded Therion, the video file ended up getting corrupted as it was being recorded. So shoutouts to my camera / SD card for doing that. But I also mentioned in the last video, which you guys haven't seen, you should check it out. I'll leave a link up in the top right if I remember, that I have a batch of 4 feature matches from a different locals that I just apparently never edited, which is kind of funny to me, but since I'm typically pretty on point with making sure I get those edited and out, so those will be going up as well too from a previous tournament. Same format, but you know, just took place like a week or 2 prior. So we're going to see Adventurer Despia versus Branded Despia here. I don't know how you guys feel about mirror matches. I mean, it's not a true mirror match, but it's just kind of how it ended up playing out. So we got the one and only Chan the Man. On the left, I think his 3rd time on the channel versus Hank the Tank, the protagonist, as we like to call him. And we're going to see these 2 very similar decks face off here. We're going to see Chandler start with the Fateful Adventure into right, obviously, and then activating Branded Opening to go ahead and get Aluber, alongside of getting the Equip spell off of Fateful, and then getting the Branded Fusion, and then effect after searching out the Equip spell to go ahead and grab the Wandering Griffin Rider, search Monster Right, discard, and having that free discard and that of Wandering, or not Wandering, but Draco back to go ahead and then re-equip. And then the effect of Wandering Griffin Rider to go ahead and summon itself out. All that in order to protect and make sure that the Branded Fusion is going to resolve, because this is the most fragile yet the best part about any Despia combo is resolving that card specifically. So, you know, whether you're playing Crossout Designator or you're playing the Adventurer package to ensure that Branded Fusion resolves, right? It's very important at the end of the day. So we're going to see him go for Lubellion, and then into Mirror Jade. We're going to see the Despian Tragedy go ahead and search out Ad Libitum. And then we're going to see the Mirror Jade effect go ahead and activate here to dump the Albion, to banish the Aluber. This is all to get that end phase set up for Branded in red. So, you know, everything is all in place here. Not only do you have Mirror Jade banished, but you have the opportunity to, you know, well, Mirror Jade banished once you resolve Branded in red. You'll go for the Chimera. You have another banish from Mirror Jade since it left the field and returned. You have the Omni Negate of Wandering Griffin Rider. A lot for a Branded Despia deck to be able to deal with. The deck can play through an okay amount of stuff, but it really has maybe like 3 big pushes. You know, they could start with a normal summon of Albaz, which typically forces an interruption. They could have Branded Fusion, which forces an interruption. You know, they could have a Poly line, which could technically force an interruption depending on their board state, because, you know, that could lead right into a Guardian Chimera. And then, you know, they could technically have a late turn Branded and red push. So there's typically 4, you know, pushes that the deck can make on average that, you know, you kind of want to respect, and sometimes they demand an interruption. Specifically in a situation like this where we're seeing Branded Fusion try to resolve on the other side, that will force the Griffin Rider, because you can't let that go through, because it just gets them too far ahead. And unfortunately, we're going to go ahead and see a T-set here in the end phase. And end phase, Branded and red target the Tragedy, and then we're just going to see him fuse away with everything. The Tragedy, the Ad-Lib, and the Mirror Jade going for the Guardian Chimera. And then Chainlinks, I imagine, are probably 1 Chimera, 2 Tragedy, 3 Ad-Lib. Ad-Lib will summon back Mirror Jade. Tragedy will go ahead and search, and he'll get to go ahead and draw 2 and pop 1, since he only used 1 monster from the field. And, yeah, Hank's going to go ahead and scoop it up there as he realizes there's probably no coming back from that, especially with Adventure Engine in full swing and, you know, Chimera and Mirror Jade being on the board. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of damage next turn. I mean, that's just game right then and there. 3K, 33, and 2000. So, into game 2 here, we're actually going to see the Adventurer Despia deck go first. Interesting. I'm assuming maybe he felt like he had more sides for this deck going second, which I guess makes sense when you consider Super Polymerization being a card that's always considered a blowout in the mirror match. that alongside D-Barrier 2. So we'll see him go ahead and start with a Pot of Prosperity to go ahead and reveal a full 6. Getting to Branded Opening is kind of nice because, right, with this particular version of the deck, you cannot really always rely on a consistent normal summon of Aliber because of the inherent restriction of the Adventurer cards, right? You cannot use the effects of normal summon monsters, the turn you use that effect of like Bright and stuff. So we're going to see him get to the opening. We're going to see him Ash opening, which is kind of a bold move because could definitely be hard punished by a hard drawn Branded Fusion. But probably realizing the fact that, if he's playing the Adventurer version and he lets us go through, right, and he lets him get the Branded Fusion in hopes to Ash the Branded Fusion, and then he follows up with, Adventurer plays, that Ash could very well go to waste. Right, so it seems kind of foolish to Ash there, but also at the same time, I get why you would Ash there. And we're going to see Chandler pass turn there, pass over to Hank. Hank will lead with the Gold Sarcophagus, a popular card in the deck nowadays. It is basically a starter card, a consistency card. Can go ahead and activate to banish the Tragedy. That will trigger Tragedy to go ahead and search you immediately for a Despia monster. And we're also going to see a Droll get dropped there too, so that's going to stop any follow-up of Albert getting Branded Fusion. So Droll trading very well there, pretty much causing a turn skip. But Adventurer Despia can't do much either on the next turn. Not seeing any new card, well, not seeing any valuable cards here to start the turn. No starters. And then we're going to see him pass. We'll see him get twinned, hitting the Droplet and the Super Poly, which would have been really good leverage to have on his turn right here to slow him down. You have Super Poly to suck up anything, that he's able to do past Droplet on Albert. But the Twin Twister just trades very, very well there. And then we're going to see him resolve Branded Fusion, of course, dumping the Fallen of Albaz, and what else we'll see. Also, the nice thing about the Gold Sarcophagus, too, is it can also be an out to side deck card. Well, it can also be an out to various floodgates, right? Per se, Mystic Mine, right? If your opponent mines you and you see the Gold Sarcophagus, right? It can also be like a second copy of your back row outs, like for various floodgates, like Rivalry in the case of Despia, or Mystic Mine, right? You have your main decked outs, like your hard drawn Cosmics and things, but you can also just Gold Sark them because Gold Sark can banish any card and you get it 2 standby phases later. So it puts your opponent on a clock to be able to try to do something to stop you from getting the out, or preparing for a way to stop it, or trying to end the game in that time frame. Otherwise, you will get to your guaranteed out. And it also just, again, can be a starter like we've seen so far. So we're going to see him normal summon the Aliber and then special summon out Kit here after he goes for the Mirror Jade. And then Kit's going to go ahead and add the Branded in red. And completely wide open field for Chandler right now. Not looking too good. Fairy Tale Snow was sent off the Branded Fusion. So this is probably just going to be game here. Taking 3K, 18, 12, and 17, leaving his opponent at 300. And then has enough cards in grave and on field to be able to go ahead and banish to summon Snow. He was going to brand it in red there, which he technically could have done to go for Masquerade to basically go for game, because obviously you can't attack directly with the thing you summon off of Branded in red, but he just decided to go for Snow anyways, so we're into a game 3 situation. And like always, a quick shout out to Imperium Duelist. They did come out with a brand new playmat recently as the Master Duel playmat, kind of themed after one of the basic Master Duel layouts. Looks kind of cool. I just got mine in the mail the other day. Looks really, really nice in person, kind of a clean mat. And if you're a fan of Master Duel and the current TCG, maybe it's the mat for you. And you can get everything on their site for 10% off using my discount code WinnerKills10 off at checkout. And don't forget to use my TCG Player affiliate link as well if you guys are buying any cards off of TCG Player to support the channel directly. So we're going to go ahead and see Chandler lead here in Game 3, going for Rite of Eremsir, for Fateful, for Token, and then having the Griffin Rider as well. Probably hard-drawn Griffin Rider. We'll grab the Equip, and then we're going to see him search out a copy of Illegal Knight. Illegal Knight's an interesting card. It's not something we see in every adventurer list. Some people opt to not play at all. Some people main it. I think I've seen maybe 1 or 2 people side Illegal Knight for going second. Kind of a cracked card. Always wanted to play that card ever since it got announced in Mech Knights. I just haven't had the chance to do it. Shoutouts to Larry. Yeah, so we're going to see him just end on Griffin Rider with 3 set. Looks like no access to Despia or branded cards here. We're going to go ahead and see branded in red, or not branded in red. We're going to see the opening Pitching Tragedy to go ahead and summon a Luber, and then Chainlink 1 a Luber, Chainlink 2 Tragedy. Go ahead and search out Adlib, and then go ahead and search out the branded Lost. And then we're going to see him activate branded Lost and activate branded Fusion. And Griffin Rider cannot stop the branded Fusion under Lost, because I believe Griffin Rider negates activations, but he can chain Crossout Designator, which is huge. Calling branded Fusion in the mirror match. Crossout just becoming a nasty card in this deck in the mirror match, because, you know, you just have engine cards to stop their engine cards. Like, Crossout Designator may be one thing for stopping hand traps in some decks, but like Live Twin and stuff. But in mirror matches, that card just can overperform. So completely shutting down the branded Fusion, not being able to be stopped by the branded Loss, because branded Crossout Designator stops effects, doesn't stop activations. So hence why he's able to do that. And I think we're seeing our branded player here attempt to go to end phase. And then we're going to see him go for Illegal Night, effect to summon. Quick effect in the main phase, similar to, you know, summoning conditions to that of the Wandering Griffin Rider. And I'm just going to go ahead and pull up the Illegal Night here. Yeah, during the main phase, if you control no monsters or you control an adventure token, summon it from hand. And then if you control an adventure token, quick effect, you can target up to 2 cards your opponent controls. Give control of this card to your opponent. And if you do, return that card or cards to the hand. So in main phase, we're going to see him summon Illegal Night. So I assume he tried to go to end phase, you know, before you leave, main phase, Illegal Night effect to summon. So now he's got to think a little carefully here. You know, the cards that he's set already are definitely targets to be bounced back in the end phase. And one of them is a branded in red. And he'll choose to set one more, it looks like maybe as a bluff. But he is going to go ahead and just Illegal Night, target the 2 oldest sets, or the ones that he set first, I guess. Give him control of the Illegal Night, bounce those cards back to the hand, and give him the Illegal Night. Yep, so I don't imagine we'll see him. I mean, he could actually use the branded in red. It looks like he will go for it, since it was returned to his hand. It is still be able to be used, because it is in the end phase, and giving his opponent control of a monster is actually going to allow him to go for Guardian Chimera. Since he did just give himself 2 free bodies to be able to do that. And maybe wasn't really inclined to do that since he had set the branded red. But now he just kind of gets to play here in the end phase. He's going to trigger branded Loss as well. And Chimera effect, so it looks like it'll be 1 Chimera, 2 branded Lost. So branded Lost, let's go ahead and search Albaz. And then he's going to go ahead and get to I can't speak. Go ahead and get to pop 2 and draw 1 here. This is all happening in the end phase still. And it looks like he is going to go... I mean, obviously, I feel like you 100% get rid of Token and Fateful here. So it looks like he'll go ahead and get rid of Token and Fateful. And we're going to go ahead and see the turn actually end there. Never got to use the Wandering Griffin Rider either that turn. He obviously couldn't use it in response because of Brandon loss, so Griffin Rider really didn't get to do much there. And we're just going to see Chandler, I think, top deck the stones here with the Brandon Fusion, dumping Albaz, obviously, first and foremost. But we'll see what else is going to be sent. I also just want to pull up the Adventurer cards. One turn the first time a monster control equipped with an equip cell will be destroyed by battle is not destroyed. Okay, so Fateful only protects from battle. I just want to read Draco back as well. You can only control 1 Draco back. Okay. For a second I thought Fateful granted destruction from card effects, but it is only battle, I believe. unless I'm misreading something right now, but just on the fly. So you'll still be able to clear that with the Guardian Chimera. And we're going to see a Brandon red now. And Lubellion not activating effect, it looks like. Unless he's chaining Brandon in red to Lubellion. Maybe doing it just for a Guardian Chimera play. Seemingly definitely wants to go for a Guardian Chimera. So I don't believe there's a polymerization in the graveyard for our Brandon Despia player right now, so he would technically be able to destroy it or target it. Sorry about the earthquake there. So he will go for a Guardian Chimera, using 2 from hand and 1 from field. So he'll get to bring back the Lubellion with the Adlib, and then pop 1. It's another Branded in red, and get to draw 2 cards here. Trying to find his way, hopefully, into some branded cards or some adventurer cards. Finds Aliber, which is pretty huge. Just building a bigger board here at this point. I think he also drew Called by the Grave there, which is kind of nice to be able to shut down the opponent's follow-up with potentially another Branded in red. And I believe the other set he has right now is Crossout Designator, which is kind of huge. But do we just not see? Or I think he popped a set Brandon red. I was gonna say, does he just not pop with the Guardian Chimera? I mean, I feel like maybe there's a way you just pop Chimera with Chimera, and then you just notice that Brandon in red is dead because he has nothing engraved, and you just kind of swing for game there. I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. I'm probably missing something. We're going to see him pass turn, and this Twin Twister is about to put in a lot of work in the standby phase here. One set is, I believe all the sets might be unknown here. But he knows where obviously the 2 newest sets are. Well, he knows one of them is Brandon in red, right? Because it was Search off the Aliber. That is known 100%. So we're going to see Twin pitching Aliber, and he's going to hit the 2 closest to the deck. One's going to be a Crossout, so he will chain Crossout Designator here. And then it looks like he will declare, I think, Branded in red. We'll see what he's going to declare, but he's looking at Chainlink 3, Called by the Grave, targeting Aliber. And he's going to go ahead and cross out Branded Fusion here. Okay. Pretty good card to be able to cross out. And then we're going to see him normal summon Albaz. Albaz effect. Yeah, that's pretty good. And I only imagine Albaz is probably going to target the Guardian Chimera. That's a pretty big roadblock on the field right now. I don't think Polymerization is engraved, since I don't think this version plays patch. It might. Yeah, we're going to see him go for Mirror Jade. And then he can also trigger Branded Lost here. Just kind of huge, so he will go ahead and activate, I think, both effects here. Mirror Jade effect on summon to protect it with Branded Lost. So it's going to be Chainlink 1, Mirror Jade, Chainlink 2, Branded Lost. And then we're going to see Mirror Jade banish the Lubellion, and the Branded Lost is going to go ahead and search out the Albion the Shrouded Dragon, since it does list Fallen of Albaz. Shrouded Dragon effect to go ahead and dump a Spell or Trap, and then put it to the bottom of the deck and draw. It's going to go ahead and dump Fallen of Albaz. And can't draw into Branded Fusion right now because it is turned off via Crossout Designator. And then he's going to switch the Guardian Chimera to attack position, and then attempt to swing over the Wandering Griffin Rider. And then looks like he will fire off that Branded in red, and his opponent does have the Called by the Grave, which is insane. Both players having it here. Trading very, very well in pretty much every scenario. Battle phase, yep. Clearing the Griffin Rider, clearing the Aluber for a decent amount of damage. And we're just going to see him probably pass turn there. He'll get the end phase effect, of course, of Albion to go ahead and set another Branded in red. Actually going for Branded Banishment, which is even better at this point. And then top deck, hopefully it's a good top deck. Yeah, top deck Enchantress is pretty okay. We'll see him grab, I mean, if he only plays one Fateful, this really isn't going to do much. And yeah, it looks like that is just going to be the end of the game there. Brandon Despia taking over Adventurer Despia. And yeah, if you guys want to see more of my content, click on what video is popping up at the bottom of the screen right now. And last but not least, a huge shout out goes to our Divine level channel members, who are Tweeter0226, Pony Start, Cadillacs84, Justin Lamb, and HCH Sapper. Again, thank you guys so much as always for showing me kind and generous support of the channel.